What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to the very first rebuild on the channel. And what better team to start with than the dumpster fire that is the Miami Dolphins. Not a lot of positivity in Miami as it stands right now. Let's just take a quick look at the team as it stands. First and foremost, Ryan Fitzpatrick will not be starting. Josh Rosen will be the starter for the team, and I do believe in Josh Rosen. I know the tank for Tua mantra is kind of the biggest thing in the NFL right now, or any of the other quarterbacks available, but I do believe Josh Rosen is a capable quarterback for this Miami Dolphins team. The biggest thing for me, I mean, look it up front. 62, 64, 67, 59, 65. Just an ugly offensive line. That will be something we definitely need to address in this rebuild, but there is talent on this offense. Mike Gesicki, a good young tight end, 75 overall. His backup will be Nick O'Leary, 72, so some decent there. And then in the wide receiver room, there is a lot of talent. Devontae Parker, 79 overall. Albert Wilson, 79 as well. And even Jakeem Grant, a burner, absolute deep threat as well. Preston Williams, a very fun 6'4" rookie wide receiver. And then there's Allen Hurns, who, you know, he's okay. Nothing special there. Then in regards to running back, Kenyon Drake. The rebuild has already begun for the Miami Dolphins. Of course, them sending away Minkah Fitzpatrick and Laramie Tunsil. Minkah may be a guy that Kenyon Drake may be a guy I also look to move. Backing him up is Kalen Ballage, who I believe is also very talented, and if he's given the proper time to develop, he could turn into a very good running back. Behind him, of course, is Mark Walton Jr. and Myles Gaskins. Now, if we take a look at the defense, as I mentioned, Minkah gone, but there is some talent on this side of the ball as well. Bobby McCain, not going to be in the future plans, but he is a 76, so for now, not bad. Rashid Jones, 83 overall with star development. His contract makes it nearly impossible to trade for him. He has a $17 million cap hit for any team, so it's going to be a very tough move, and we really have nothing behind him at this point, so it looks like we will have to roll with him. As far as cornerback goes, Xavier Howard is clearly the heart and soul of this defense. Superstar development, 83 overall. He's the biggest threat for sure on this defense. Christian Wilkins, of course, though, the 2019 first-round draft pick of the Dolphins. Hidden development, I believe it's only star, but he does start with a 73 overall. He is, without question, in our future plans. And lastly, we do have some decent middle linebackers. Not awful. Van Ginkel will be starting as well. But Raekwon McMillan and Jerome Baker, both 74 overall. McMillan with star development, so not awful. Obviously, not very talented team. I'm not expecting too much out of the season. One thing the team does have going for them, though, is if we go over here and we take a look, they have 3 first-round draft picks. Their very own, one from Pittsburgh, which came in the Minkah trade, and then this one from Houston in the Laramie Tunsil trade. But in addition to a draft pick, first-round pick this year in 2020, if we go over and look at next year, we also got one from Houston in 2021. So that's awesome for this team. A ton of draft picks, a lot to work with. To begin, let's set our season goal here. What we're looking at, can I do less wins? I wish I could do something other than wins, but it does look like wins is all we're able to go with. So 4 wins, we'll commit to that goal. Not sure if we're going to be able to achieve that, but we're going to attempt. Now, before I move forward here, weekly training. Now, as I mentioned, I do want to set some guys in here specifically. First of all, Christian Wilkins, perfect. I will leave him in there. But second, I'm going to go ahead and use Josh Rosen. Now, as I said, Josh Rosen, 22 years old, star development. I do believe he should be a focus player. I don't think, depending upon how this season goes, that I'm going to be drafting a quarterback. So I think Josh Rosen is QB1 in the future. And then in terms of the third spot, Kalen Ballage, 23 years old, only normal development, but we're going to get him some XP as a focus player. Kenyon Drake will be a trade target, to be completely honest. So I'm just going to sim this first week of training, as I will throughout the season. And before we do any advancing, we're going to go ahead and see if we can get anything moved here and get some extra draft capital, and that's going to start with Kenyon Drake. Now, whether or not many teams are going to have much interest in him is to be seen, but he is a 79 overall player. Decent development trait, not a huge cap hit, and he's only 25 years old. So let's see what we can get. We're obviously going to try to maximize the capital that we can get for him. So let's take a look. All right, so after maneuvering, we were able to move Kenyon Drake. We are sending him to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We flip him and a 6th round pick in 2020 for their 3rd round pick, 66 overall. Decent value for him. Again, I think Kalen Ballage is going to be our guy going forward. That'll be a 3rd round pick put to good use in this draft. So for the 2020 draft, just to let you know, I will be using a customized draft class, not my own. I didn't make one. I will be just using the franchise guys, who is currently number 1 downloaded in the file share system. So I will be using that for this draft. Although, with that being said, going forward, though, in 2021 and beyond, I will be using the custom classes that Madden themselves have created. And then, that way it's more of a strategy type of thing, trying to draft the best overall player I possibly can. But for 2020, I will be using a custom class. So now that Kenyon Drake has been flipped, another guy that I am going to be looking to move, I want to keep Devontae Parker, 26 years old. He is going to be our wide receiver number 1. But Albert Wilson, now 27, obviously not too much of an age discrepancy here, but he has an $8 million cap hit. Now, there are some teams looking for wide receivers. Number 1, of course, is going to be the Oakland Raiders, soon to be Vegas Raiders. Obviously, Antonio Brown, long gone. Let's see if we can flip Albert Wilson here and upgrade this team with another draft pick or potentially a player. All right, so we're able to flip Albert Wilson here along with a 7th round pick this year for the Oakland Raiders. 3rd round pick, 85th overall. Again, not someone that's going to be intricate in our offense this season. Get some more draft stock, whether we use it or not, to draft a player or to trade up or down, whatever we end up doing. So those are some big moves there. We're able to get some additional capital. Obviously, now we're below that player mark, so we are going to have to bring some guys in, of course. And now this is what we're looking at. Jakeem Grant, again, a burner. Someone that definitely will help us out. Now, not much else I want to do in terms of trades go. Nothing else we really have to offer. One that I am looking into, though, potentially, is for Ryan Fitzpatrick. Now, since we are going forward with Rosen, Fitzpatrick is going to be a guy that we're not really going to have much use for. Broncos, of course, are interested. Again, Josh Rosen going forward, we can always find someone that's interested, and the Colts look like they're interested. Of course, with Andrew Luck just retiring out of nowhere, I'm not sure what we're going to get for this. 2nd round, 42nd overall, maybe, for Ryan Fitzpatrick. That would be an awesome value for that pick, and that's very close. Already very close. They had another 2nd round pick that we could potentially, 60th overall. Let's see if that moves the needle any. And it does. Wow. All right, so that was actually accepted. We get a 2nd round pick, 60th overall for Ryan Fitzpatrick. We flip him to the Indianapolis Colts. So that's huge. We're down to 50 players now, so I have to re-sign some people, but that is huge for us. I didn't expect that to go through. A 2nd round pick for Fitzpatrick. Now let's check out free agency. Let's see if there's anyone available that can upgrade our team. Obviously, usually not. Safarison, that wouldn't be an awful pickup, but I don't want to spend that much on him. 26 years old, not too old. Cut by the Patriots, of course, earlier this season. Hasn't been picked up. Not really someone I'm interested in at this point, perhaps going forward. First of all, we do need a backup quarterback now, and Josh Dobbs will be that guy. We're going to sign him to our roster to back up Josh Rosen. Hopefully he gets no time whatsoever. Now, it's not often that you actually find someone, as far as offensive line goes, in free agency that can actually upgrade your team. But Cole Croston will do that, considering currently we have a guard that's a 59 overall. I'm going to be moving around that line, but a 61 overall is going to help us out, actually. So he's going to be a good addition. So now the last move I will be making, I'm just going to bring Isaiah Ford, sign him from the practice squad to give us an even 53-man roster before kicking off. Now let's just do some reorganizing here. First thing that I went ahead and did, of course, is to give our offensive line the best chance available. Michael Dieter is going to remain at the left guard position. He will be starting, but I moved Bohem over to the right guard position, 64 overall. Cole Croston will be backing him up, who he signed out of free agency. Not much of an upgrade, but it is something, at the very least, to try and help out. Gesicki, of course, will be starting with Nick O'Leary behind him. Josh Rosen with Dobbs behind him. And that's what we're looking at as it stands right now. On the defensive side of the ball, nothing has changed besides Van Ginkel starting. But this is the team we're going to be kicking off the season with. Again, not a lot expected of them. We do have a ton of draft capital, though. Let's move ahead to the midway point of the season and see where we stand. As I mentioned, I am going to be using the draft class from the franchise guy for this first season. So the names to be expected, there we go. Jake Fromm, Tua Tagovailoa, Andrew Thomas, Derek Brown, Jerry Jeudy. All these guys, of course, top prospects this season coming out of college. Going to be interesting. I'm going to scout this season like normal, but I'm going to do it auto, of course. But a lot of good talent coming out this year, both offensive line, obviously a lot of quarterback talent. So it's going to be interesting. But anyways, I'm going to move forward here. I'll see you at the midway point. So we are here at the mid-season mark. And as you can see, our latest loss was to the Pittsburgh Steelers, 38-17. Let's go. We're not that bad. Look at that, 2-5. Halfway to our season goal of 4 wins. Honestly, I was expecting a lot worse. I was expecting to be 0-8 or 0-7 to this point. Not bad whatsoever. All right, 2-5. We'll take that. Let's jump right in and check out the stats here. Let's see. Josh Rosen, not terrible, not great either. 1,300 yards, 10 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, 61% completion. Rushing the football, Kalen Ballage, 100 carries for 345 yards, 1 touchdown. Mark Walton Jr. has 2. It's not awful for him either. Receiving the football, Allen Hurns leading the way with 348 yards and 5 touchdowns. Devontae Parker, 299. Gesicki with 252. Jakeem Grant with 226. As far as defense goes, see if we have any standouts. James Crawford, 2 sacks. Christian Wilkins, 1.5 sacks. Devon Godshaw, 1.5 sacks. Nothing overly impressive. Raekwon McMillan, 5 interceptions halfway through the season. Wow. Rashid Jones with 2, Eric Rowe with 1, Xavier Howard with 1. Wow, that is impressive. 5 interceptions. Oh, I gotta admit, guys, a lot better than I thought. Let's see if we have any weekly award winners so far. I doubt it, but maybe. We do. Raekwon McMillan, back-to-back weeks, 7 tackles, 2 interceptions in week 4. 4 tackles and 2 interceptions in week number 3. So pretty impressive. 2 Player of the Week honors. Now let's see, midway through the season, how is the team looking here? Losing streak, breakout, blah, blah, blah. Now let's see, we have some players to upgrade here. McMillan, obviously, with a couple. Christian Wilkins with a couple. Rosen with a couple. Let's upgrade all of these guys. 27 players have been upgraded. As a team, as I said, not looking terrible. We have some people ready to negotiate. Not going to be really overly worried about that until the end of the season comes and we kind of see where everything is settled. But let's sim forward here. Maybe we make the playoffs. I highly doubt it, but 2 wins is more than I thought we'd have. So let's see. Let's sim to the end of the year and take a look. So the season has come to an end, and big shocker, we did not make the playoffs. Week 17, losing to New England, 31-0. Obviously, all our practice players have been signed. But let's see where we finished. We got 1 more win in the second half. We finished 3-13, almost accomplished our goal of 4 wins for the season. Patriots went 9-7, made the playoffs. Let's look at the stats for the team for the year, see what we ended up with. Josh Rosen, not terrible, not great. Nearly 3,000 passing yards, 2,900, 19 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, 61% completion. As far as rushing goes, Kalen Ballage put it on display, a great display at the end of the season. 757 rushing yards, 3 touchdowns. Mark Walton Jr. had 4, and Josh Rosen rushed for 5 touchdowns. We'll take that all day. As far as receiving goes, clearly leading the way is Allen Hurns. 11 touchdowns, 849 yards. Perhaps we had some injuries along the way. Because, it looks like he was leading the way all year for us. Gesicki with 600. Jakeem Grant with nearly 600. Parker with 534. Not terrible whatsoever. On the defensive side of things, let's take a look. 4.5 sacks from Christian Wilkins. Devon Godshaw with 4.5. Charles Harris with 4. I gotta admit, not as bad as I thought. Raekwon McMillan will not get another interception for the rest of the year. He finished with 5. Still very impressive. We had 2 from Rashad Jones and 2 from Xavier Howard. Any defensive touchdowns? I highly doubt it, and we did not. But still impressive. A lot better than I thought. 3 wins. Now let's check out the league. Of course, Patrick Mahomes leading the way with 4,600 passing yards, 38 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, followed by Aaron Rodgers, Matt Ryan, Drew Brees, the usual suspects, of course. As far as touchdowns go, we had 3 men with over 40. Aaron Rodgers with 46, Trubisky with 40, and Garoppolo with 40 as well. As far as rushing, I'm sure I know who. Ezekiel Elliott, as always. 1,560 yards, 11 touchdowns. Barkley with nearly 1,509 touchdowns. Le'Veon Bell, 16 rushing touchdowns. Damian Williams with 15. James Conner with 15. Nick Chubb, 13. Some crazy numbers here, that's for sure. As far as receiving goes, Devontae Adams, who actually in real life is having a hell of a season as well, leading the league. Golden Tate for the Giants with 1,257. Julio Jones with 1,200 as well. Chester Rogers, 13, and wow. We have some interesting names at the top of the league here as far as touchdowns go. Kansas City, of course, that air raid offense leading the way. On defense, 17 sacks for Myles Garrett. What a season. Donta Hightower, 15. Cameron Jordan, 15 as well. 7 interceptions. Wow, for Chris Harris. What a performance. We, of course, had Raekwon McMillan, top 5 in the league. Let's see if we finish with any awards here before we do anything else. I doubt it, but let's take a look. Mitch Trubisky is named the MVP of the 9-7 Bears. That's interesting. Coach of the Year, Andy Reid. Now, in terms of Offensive Player of the Year, Patrick Mahomes leading the way. Defensive Player of the Year is Raekwon McMillan. Wow. All right. So that is going to be awesome for his progression. Definitely going to get some serious XP for that. Have any other Dolphins in here? We do not, but that is huge. Raekwon McMillan, Defensive Player of the Year. Offensive Rookie, Marquise Brown. No Dolphins. Defensive Rookie, Ed Oliver. No. Oh, we did. Right there. Christian Wilkins will finish in the top 5. That'll be great for his development as well. Best quarterback, no Rosen. Best running back, nothing there. Wide receivers, we actually get Allen Hurns. So this is going to be a tough decision now. His contract is looming. Do we just let him walk? Because he is going to be decreasing, regressing very soon. But then again, he's getting a lot of XP right now. As far as offensive line goes, of course, none for us. We had no one over a 70. Defensive line, nothing for the Dolphins. Linebackers, Raekwon McMillan wins Defensive Player of the Year, but not Best Linebacker. That is interesting. Either way, he finishes top 2. And then Best Defensive Back, nothing for us there. So overall, an up and down season for sure. We had a lot of highs, a lot of lows. Let's upgrade these players here. I'm expecting a lot. Yeah, Raekwon McMillan with 3, Rosen with 3 as well. Just auto upgrade all of these guys. 35 players upgraded. Now we're going to go ahead and sim forward here, going through the playoffs. Now, let's check out this Pro Bowl roster. I'm fully expecting Raekwon McMillan to be in the hunt here someplace, which would give him yet another experience point. Chester Rogers, wide receiver number 1. Wow. Very interesting season. A lot of big names obviously left off here. We got anybody. Anybody at all. Raekwon McMillan, there he is at middle linebacker, 79 overall, which will be definitely increasing. A big jump, though. I mean, he started the season at a 74. That is huge. No one else from the looks of it for us. Oh, actually, Rashid Jones, which is another tough decision. I mean, we're not going to be trading him because of the $17 million cap hit, but at the same time, he will be regressing. So this will be another big bump for him. Hopefully keep him above an 80. So let's move forward now. Let's check out the Super Bowl matchup. It is the Browns versus Seattle Seahawks. As usual, the Browns are in the Super Bowl. Do have some more players to upgrade here. I'm assuming it's just going to be Raekwon. Another 3 here. Huge for him. Big season. And new ability unlocked. Let's take a look here for Raekwon. Tip drill. Increased chance of catching a pass that has been tipped. That'll be due to those 5 interceptions that he had. He is up to an 82 overall. That is just awesome. If we take a look here at his progression history, yeah, everything has just been upgraded. Obviously, NFL tackles leader, defensive player of the year, and now now that I look, he has superstar development. What a season. Huge for us and our defense. Linebacker is not a position that's going to be as much of a need anymore. 21 players are ready to resign. Like I said, we had a lot of decisions to make. We have a ton of cap room, so that's not going to be an issue. Isaiah Ford, 24 years old. He started off on our practice squad. Signed him after all those trades. I mean, why not? I don't want to give him too big of a contract. I mean, because if he doesn't take it, I'm not overly worried about him leaving. So let's give him kind of a lower offer if he doesn't, and he does sign. So we're able to get him for a little bit cheaper. Matt Hack, 77 overall punter. Not going to get much better than that. We'll bring that down a little bit here. Star development, and we were able to bring him back as well. As far as everyone else goes, not really looking to make any other moves. This is going to be a tough one. As I said, Allen Hurns had a huge season for us, but we do have a lot of young wide receiver talent, so I'm not overly worried about him. 75 overall. I'm going to take my chances, let him walk. Everyone else the same. I'm not really interested in bringing anyone back, not even for a backup role, because I can easily find either through the draft guys of equal talent at younger age. So I'm not worried about that. We're going to jump right into stage 1 of free agency, see who's available, see if we can get any big signings. Again, we have $98 million, nearly $99 million in cap room. Let's see who's available to sign. Kareem Hunt. Now, we got Kalen Ballage from a 70 up to a 72. So that's not as big of a position of need as you would think. Chris Harris, 31 years old. I mean, obviously we need a second cornerback to go on with Xavier Howard, but I don't think with his age I'm going to be overly interested. Now, Ronald Darby would be an interesting signing. Now, only 26 years old, currently has no bids. He's an 84 overall with star development. He would be battling for our number 1 position with Xavier Howard. Let's just go ahead and offer him something. Let's see, 26 years old, 3 years. That'll bring him till he's 29. I'll bump that up slightly. That'll give us 90 total points. We'll see if that's enough to get it done. No one else has offered anything yet. So that'll be our first negotiation. PJ Williams would be another interesting pickup. I think I might offer him a contract. Currently no bids for his services. 2-year deal would bring him till he's 29. I'll make him that offer. They give us 93 total points for him. Now, it's not often you find talent in free agency, especially young talent along the offensive line. DJ Humphries is available here. 74 overall, normal development, but only 26 years old. Really, anything is going to be an instant upgrade for us. And like I said, we have money to blow here, so I'm not overly worried about that. 91 total points. Again, if he doesn't sign, not a big deal. And then in addition to him, Alex Lewis as well. 28 years old, 74 overall. Michael Dieter can either move over to right guard while he still progresses, or again, I'm not overly worried if these aren't accepted. 93 total points. Alex Lewis would be a big signing for us. Now, after looking through here, not much else is really interesting me too much. Again, going to be building through the draft. Von Bell would have been interesting, but Cleveland's stacking up on him. 96 overall total points. Not really interested in anyone else. So I gave out my negotiations. Let's simulate here, see if anyone decides to sign with the team. Hopefully we pick up some people here, fill some slots. And it looks like everyone accepts their contracts. All right, so we get everyone. We get left guard Alex Lewis, who's going to be a big upgrade. Ronald Darby as well, who's going to slide right in and contest for our first overall cornerback spot, which is huge. DJ Humphries will also sign left tackle for us. And finally, PJ Williams, who's going to be that third nickel corner for us. So three big signings here. See if anyone else is available. We still have over 70 million in cap space. There wasn't really anyone I was overly interested in. So yeah, after looking through, there's really no one else that interests me. So I'm going to jump right ahead to the draft here. I'm excited. A lot of big talent, both on offense and defense here. We're going to have 3 first-round picks. We do not have the number 1 overall pick. It looks like the Raiders were even worse than us. Let's see who they pick up here. Wow, welcome to Oakland, Jake Fromm. 74 overall quarterback. Looks like Derek Carr's time is done. Jake Fromm is now. But now it's our pick. Now, there's a lot of guys that I was looking at. But now this is the situation. Some of them that I am interested in, I'm not interested in Tua Tagovailoa. Not at all. We're sticking with Josh Rosen. Andrew Thomas, definitely interesting. We did just sign a left tackle, though. I'm definitely looking to move along the offensive line. A guy like Jerry Jeudy is interesting. Chase Young, obviously, would be an absolute stud. But would it be smart to pick him up at this time? Would I be able to pick him up later on in the draft is the question. Should I be making a trade here? Tristan Wirfs is a guy that I would love to pick up. But it looks like I have a lot of time to do so. So I think I'm going to trade out of this pick. See what we can get. See if there's any offers for our pick. So this one from Green Bay is nice. We would move back to 9th. We'd pick up a first-round pick next season and a third-round pick next season. I would like to be a little bit sooner in this year's draft just because I do not want to let Chase Young go because he is definitely something I'm looking to pick up. This isn't bad. Indianapolis is offering something very interesting. But will he be there at 5? That is the question. I don't think I'm going to take it. I don't want to risk him being gone. We're going to go ahead, make our first selection. It says he'd be available at 5, but you cannot trust it. I'm going to go ahead, draft Chase Young, right end out of The Ohio State University. Great top 3 skills. Hidden development trait, says I reached. Both arms up. How could I have reached? 77 overall. I know not everyone knows the Madden glitch. 77 overall. He has those arms up. Both arms means superstar X Factor development. I'm not upset about that whatsoever. Cincinnati Bengals take Andrew Thomas, 75 overall. Not as high as I thought he would be. Left tackle out of Georgia. The Saints take Tua Tagovailoa. Wow. So, I mean, Drew Brees must have retired here. He was in free agency. That switches up everything. That is a very interesting pick. I almost feel like Chase Young would be available as it stands now, but we're going to keep moving forward here. Derek Brown, out of Auburn, 79 overall defensive tackle. That is a huge pick for them. 74 overall, Prince Tega Wangoga. I didn't pronounce that correctly. Left tackle out of Auburn, 74 overall. Grant Delpin. Now that's a huge pick. 80 overall. He was someone I was interested in taking. Didn't think he would go this early. 72 overall left guard out of Oregon. goes to the Buffalo Bills. Not a great pick there. So now if we look at my draft board, early on, these are the guys that I'm looking at as far as potentially taking here in the first round. So now it's going to be tough because I obviously can't come away with all of them. I have 2 picks left, so I'm not going to be overly upset if some of them go off the board, but there are positions I want more than others. Tristan Wirfs is probably, by season's end, going to be the number 1 lineman prospect, in real life. So I am very interested in bringing him in if possible. Obviously, Jerry Jeudy or CeeDee Lamb would be awesome to bring in as well. I think I'm going to try to ride out, though, at least a few more picks before I consider trading. Wasn't interested in AJ Espezia. He is very interesting. Him and Chase Young are looking like 2 of the better defensive players in the draft, but I'm okay with him going away. We're at the 10th pick here. And there goes Jerry Jeudy. Jerry Jeudy will go to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Again, not overly upset about that. We still have CeeDee Lamb, but I think it's going to be time for me to make a trade here before Tristan Wirfs. I wanted him. 76 overall, though. Not as big of a loss as I would have thought. Not as upset, because that's not that great. I thought he would be much higher. Obviously, we haven't seen his development yet. I assume it's going to be at least star. It's got to be. Maybe even superstar. Isaiah Simmons, he was also on my board. He will go to the Arizona Cardinals. Again, not overly upset about losing these guys. I believe we already have a pretty good draft going. Oh, Giants. What do you... CJ Henderson, cornerback out of Florida, 69 overall. Still have quite a few guys on my draft board here. I don't want to see any of them go. I am very interested in all of them. I think I'm just going to ride it out, though. I don't want to stress out about it. He was one. We're getting very close to our pick here. Coming down to the wire, we have the 19th overall pick and then the 21st overall pick. So we're going to get back to back. I think we're just going to ride it out, guys.
The Chargers are now on the clock.
1 pick away. Rams are not going CeeDee Lamb. I know that. They cannot go CeeDee Lamb. They have plenty of wide receivers. And they do not. He will be available. I am happy we stayed the course and didn't do anything as far as trading up. Let's see. CeeDee Lamb available. Wide receiver out of Oklahoma. Going to be an instant addition to our offense. And he will be drafted 15th overall in true talent. Looks like arms are crossed, so if you know the cheat, only star development, but a 76 overall. He'll jump right in and be instant spark to our offense. I'm perfectly okay with that. Bryce Hall, cornerback out of Virginia, taken by the Washington Redskins, and we are back on the clock here. I think I'm going to go with my gut here. Xavier McKinney out of Alabama. Free safety is going to slide right in. Probably start beginning of the season behind Rashid Jones. Maybe we can move him. 70 overall. Not a great pickup. Normal development. We reached. He was ranked 62 with true value. Drafted him at 21. Not a great pickup here, but we're going to sim ahead to our next pick. Our next pick is in round number 2. Now we are here in round number 2. We have a lot of picks this round. We have the second pick, 4th, and 5th pick in the second round. So we have a lot of options and a lot of holes to fill still. If we take a look here, one thing that you're going to notice is there are a lot of running backs still available. J.K. Dobbins available. Jonathan Taylor out of Wisconsin available. Might be something we do go with going forward here. So now I'm thinking about just going running back now. Projected to be a late first rounder is J.K. Dobbins. Very nice top 3 skills. Great combine score. Jonathan Taylor also very impressive with his top 3 skills. Not impressive as a combine, but I think I'm going to go ahead, take J.K. Dobbins out of The Ohio State University. Good pick. 79 overall. Arms crossed and normal development. Is ranked number 4 in true talent. Drafted him at 34. That is a good pick for us. Now it's time to question Kalen Ballage, whether or not he is going to be the future as far as our running back goes. That is a big pickup for us. 78 over. They take Jonathan Taylor. So it was smart of us to go ahead and take J.K. Dobbins, 1 overall better than Jonathan Taylor. But now we have back-to-back picks. So now it gets a little bit interesting. Now if we take a look at my draft board here, we do have some remaining talent. Again, we have back-to-back picks, so we can easily just scoop up either of these 5 players here. I think based on need, we're going to go with Netani Moody out of Fresno State. Big man, 6'3", 307 pounds. Great top 3 skills, not the best combine. Let's see here. 74 overall. Number 26 in true talent. Drafted him at 36. Not awful. I'll definitely take that. He's going to slide right in. Again, a 74 is going to move right in and start for us. So good pickup, immediate impact player, and immediately we have another pick here. I think we're going to utilize this pick rather than trade it away. And K'Lavon Chaisson out of LSU is a beast. If any look at his film at LSU, you can just see the type of player he is. Great top 3 skills, mid-round second talent as it's projected. But I think we're going to go ahead and take him. 72 overall, a bit of a reach, but I'm going to go ahead and take it. And he's got 2 arms up. Superstar X Factor. Oh, I will take that all day. Only a 72, but Superstar X Factor. That is 2 now for us in this draft. That's exciting, man. This is going to be fun next season. Our defense is going to improve greatly. And as I said, looking to build towards the future now. Looking to trade away this 3rd round pick. See if there's any value out there. We got a decent class already. No one else I'm really looking to add here. Not very good offers. I think I'm going to do my own trade. See if I can package together a couple 3s. And we are able to move our 3rd round picks, all 3 of them, for a 1st round pick next season. Out of the Kansas City Chiefs, I mean, not obviously going to be a very high 1st round pick, but it is another 1st round pick nonetheless. So that's exciting to have. And we're just going to go ahead and simulate to the end of the draft here. Very successful, if I do say so myself. We got 2 Superstar X Factor players, which is absolutely insane. Going to be some immediate impact players on our offense. Obviously, Chase Young, our first round pick, 2nd overall, 77 overall, instant impact player off the right end. CeeDee Lamb following him, 76 overall. Xavier McKinney, going to move into that free safety role. J.K. Dobbins, 79 overall, halfback. Let's see who the computer was able to pick up here. Nothing impressive as usual. But these top guys right here, these 6 picks, huge pickups for us. Going to be immediate impact players in our roster. Now, already a vast improvement from year 1 to year 2. We went from a 71 to a 74, up to a 77 on defense. If we bounce over and take a look here, J.K. Dobbins moves into our number 1 running back position. Kalen Ballage will be backing up. CeeDee Lamb will be our 2nd wide receiver next to Devontae Parker. A combination of free agency and the draft has helped out our offensive line. DJ Humphries and Alex Lewis coming over, shoring up that left half. And then we draft at right guard as well, so that's going to be a big upgrade. Slowly but surely helping out Josh Rosen, who's already up to a 75, but the defense is where everything changed. Looking absolutely stacked already. Xavier Howard up to an 84, still our superstar on the defense. Christian Wilkins, 76 overall. Deshaun Godshaw, 77. Chase Young, 77 overall. Already know he's a superstar X Factor, but he has to play the 500 downs to make that happen. Out of Ohio State. Very impressive there. K'Lavon Chaisson, he will be starting at left outside linebacker. A 72 overall. Obviously during free agency. Picked up Ronald Darby. Going to make our cornerback position much more difficult for offenses to figure out. So that's huge there. Rashid Jones didn't go down as much as I thought, down to a 77 rather than the 83 that he was last year. Still a viable option. No one really to replace him yet. Hopefully McKinney can get some time to play and bump up for next season when he inevitably replaces Jones. But that's a team we're rolling into year number 2 with. Obviously, massive upgrades there, and we're going to move forward into preseason. Going to be switching up our weekly training just a bit here for some players. CeeDee Lamb, Chase Young, and J.K. Dobbins all have been moved to the focus player position. Want to get them immediately going. So now here in week number 1, we're going to set our goal for this year. Now, I don't want to be overly positive and go with make the playoffs, but I do believe we have made enough improvements to get 7 wins. I believe 7 wins is fully attainable, so I'm going to commit to that goal. So at the midseason mark, some players ready to negotiate, of course. Looks like we're coming off a win against the Bengals. We're in our bye week. Let's see, 3-5. Now that's a little disappointing. We had 3 wins at the midway mark, or 2 wins at the midway mark last year, so only 1 additional win. With the players that we have added, kind of unfortunate there. But let's take a look at the stats. See how everyone is looking. Josh Rosen, not terrible, not great either. 1,500 yards, 12 touchdowns, and 7 interceptions. Rushing the football, J.K. Dobbins, well on his way to a 1,000-yard season. 589 yards. Ballage getting some time in that backup role. Now receiving, CeeDee Lamb, kind of non-existent as far as the number 2 goes. Jakeem Grant going off, well on his way to a 1,000-yard season. 6 total receiving touchdowns. Defense is where I'm most interested. Let's see. Chase Young, 5.5 sacks already. That is awesome. Huge. I mean, obviously we know he's a superstar X-Factor player. Has it been revealed yet? Yes, it has. There it is. 78 overall, superstar X-Factor. Massive for our defense here. He has 2 upgrades. We'll deal with that in a moment. In addition to him, Christian Wilkins with 3 sacks as well. As far as interceptions go, Xavier Howard with 3. Very impressive. And we have a slew of guys here with 1. Raekwon McMillan, not the 5 that he had last year, but still very impressive. But our overall record has not shown that yet. Let's go ahead and we're going to upgrade the players that need to be upgraded. But let's see if they can step it up in the second half of the season. See if we make the playoffs. We're going to sim all the way through. And it doesn't look like we were able to make the playoffs here. Practice squad players have been signed. That's unfortunate. I mean, not saying I'm surprised. Only the second year of the franchise. First out of the first rebuild. I mean, we're already light years ahead of where we were. 77 overall, 80 overall defense. Let's see where we finished. 5-11. Only gained 2 wins as compared to last season. Not exactly what we were looking for. That's kind of unfortunate. What are you going to do? Let's look at the stats for the year, find out where we're struggling. Josh Rosen, very pedestrian season. 3,100 yards, 19 touchdowns, and 12 interceptions. Rushing the football, J.K. Dobbins as a rookie is over 1,000 yards. 5 total rushing touchdowns. Not a bad season from him whatsoever. CeeDee Lamb came on strong at the end of the year, led the team in receiving. 0 touchdowns, though, which is frustrating. Jakeem Grant with 7. Parker with 5. No 1,000-yard receiver, but we had 6 guys over 600 yards. Leading the team, Raekwon McMillan with 100 tackles. Christian Wilkins had 7 total sacks, 6.5 for Chase Young. Very impressive there. 4 interceptions for Xavier Howard. 3 for Raekwon McMillan and 2 for Rashid Jones. Very impressive. McMillan now 8 in the past 2 seasons. Xavier Howard leading the team this year. Obviously, it's our offense that is holding this team back. Let's take a look at the league as a whole. Matt Ryan leads the league in passing. 4,600 yards. Patrick Mahomes with 4,400. 46 touchdowns for Phillip Rivers. 43 for Tom Brady, who's still going strong. 40 for Matt Ryan and 40 for Deshaun Watson. Wow, Tua Tagovailoa, 38-4 in his first year, over 4,300 yards. Leaves a lot to be desired for us since we passed on him and stuck with Josh Rosen. Maybe the wrong decision, but who knows? Zeke Elliott leads the league once again, 15 touchdowns as well. Receiving, 1,400 for Michael Thomas, 16 and 18 touchdowns. Wow. Very impressive. Whew. That would be nice to have, that's for sure. It might be time to look around the league and see if there's any available quarterbacks. I'm thinking we're going to stick Justin Houston. At his age, still bringing the heat, 14.5 sacks, Sue with 14. A lot of impressive players on defense this season. Malcolm Jenkins, 6 interceptions. Sherman with 5. Ramsey with 4. I thought we looked good on defense. Apparently not as we stack up in the league. Let's look at the yearly awards. Watson wins MVP. Tua in his rookie season, 4th in MVP voting. No Dolphins. Coach of the Year, Sean Payton. No Dolphins. Offensive rookie is J.K. Dobbins, so that's big for us. And also CeeDee Lamb squeaks his way in there, even though he had no touchdowns this year. Defensive rookie of the year. Wow, I'm surprised by that. I thought Chase Young would be in there. He is top 5. And Chase On is in there with top 10 as well. Best quarterback, we're not going to be in there. Looking at best running back, though, Dobbins does make it in at number 8. Do have Xavier Howard in there, number 4 overall in the defensive back category. Not awful. Definitely an improvement, especially in the team's overall. I mean, we're up to a 77, which is impressive. We have some players to upgrade here. And the Cleveland Browns win the Super Bowl. Not a huge shock there. We have some players that we are going to need to re-sign, opposed to last year where there wasn't too much. Raekwon McMillan, superstar player. We need to get him re-signed. Absolutely. Do not want to let him walk. And he will re-sign. I'm happy we got that deal done. 85 overall. I'm not sure if he's going to go for this offer, but we do have other guys. He's going to test out free agency. Not a problem. We have a lot of young talent out on this team. Devon Godshaw, 2 years, bring him till he's 28. That's a fair. I will bring him back. We'll bring back Charles Harris. Probably going to try to undercut what he wants because I'm not overly concerned with bringing him back. I'll sign you for that. I'm not going to give you much more. He's going to test out free agency. Everyone else, I'm willing to let walk. Again, we can fill out this roster through the draft with the same amount of talent. Let's go to free agency, period number 1. We're not going to have as much as last season to spend, but we still have a decent amount. $69 million in cap space. Keanu O'Neal, very interesting. Especially with Rashid Jones, 33 years old, down to a 73 overall. That might be someone we're very interested in bringing in. The Patriots are going hard for him. Currently, we have no center. Seemingly, he has retired. So we're going to go for Chase Rollier here. Going to offer him a pretty sizable deal. He's 28 years old. I'll sign you for 4 years. Bring it to your 32 season. That'll be 91 total overall points. Hopefully, we're able to secure him up here and bring him onto the team. Outside of him, we are in need at linebacker, and Samson Ibukem would slide right in very nicely. He's looking for a massive deal, though. Currently no offers. He's looking for 5 years. That is a huge commitment. $73 million. I don't think I'm in a position to offer that as it stands right now. He currently has no offers, so let's see if that bid drives down a bit. I don't believe he's worth that as it stands right now. Corner, I think we are pretty solid for now. Lastly, I'm looking at Keanu O'Neal. If I'm going to give a big offer to anybody, it is going to be Neal. 92 overall, superstar development. Rashid Jones is going to be gone. If I'm giving a big deal, this is the guy I'm giving a big deal to. He's looking for a massive max contract. 5 years will bring him to his age 31 season. That'll give us 96 total points. So now the ball is in his court. We have the highest bid on the table here. Let's simulate 1 week and see if we're able to pick him up and add him to this roster. Neal and Rollier have accepted. Those are two huge signings for our team, going to be instant impact players on defense. Let's see who else is available at this point in free agency. We still have 48 million available to spend. Now, if we're looking at wide receiver, Will Fuller, 27 years old here. Receiving was a struggle for us last season. A lot of young talent, not really stepping up. Might not be the worst decision in the world to bring him in. Tawan Taylor's interesting as well. I think we're going to go in for Will Fuller here. See if we can get him a decent contract. It's not something overly crazy. No offers on the table for him as it stands right now. So I'm going to bring this down a bit. 3 years will bring him to his age 37. That's 84 total points. See if he signs. No offers on the board for him right now. I wouldn't mind going for Tawan Taylor as a consolation prize. And he has accepted our contract. We give him a low ball offer, but he does accept. Now let's check out the team. Currently a 78 overall. Not looking too bad here. See what positions in need are before we head into the draft. Clearly offensive line. Right tackle is our biggest, really anything on the offensive line is going to help. Offense is looking pretty good though. 2-star wide receivers, Will Fuller 84, CeeDee Lamb an 80, J.K. Dobbins an 83, and Josh Rosen at a 78. Mike Gesicki obviously a 78 overall. Maybe finding him a backup would be big for us. On the defense though, that is where we shine. That is where we are looking absolutely dominant. Need to pick up a right outside linebacker, although I am thinking about just moving Andrew Van Ginkel over to right outside linebacker. Keanu Neal, superstar, 92 overall. Rashid Jones sitting behind him at a 73. He might be traded before moving forward here, trying to get a higher pick in the first round. Perhaps we do have 2 first-round picks because of that Laramie Tunsil trade. Ronald Darby in there, of course. And P.J. Williams, Christian Wilkins, Deshaun Godshaw, and Chase Young, who is a superstar X-Factor player. Now, it may be too little too late, but obviously, given his age and cap hit, it's going to be tough to find a team. So now, after trying, it's going to be borderline impossible to get rid of him. So we're just going to go ahead and simulate to the draft, pick up some good talent. Hopefully, like I said, we do have some first-round draft picks. So now with the first pick in the 2021 draft, the Raiders will select 78 overall Kenny Dane, right end out of Oregon. Not somebody I was overly looking at. And with the second pick, the Tennessee Titans will go ahead and select Chauncey Connolly, wide receiver out of Michigan. So now it is our pick, 3rd overall. Now if we take a look here at my draft board, all of the guys I'm really looking at are available. I mean, at 3rd overall, of course they are. No one was really taken away. And now it's drafting need over, we have a lot of holes to fill up on our offensive line. A few guys I have been looking at, Forrest Morton would be huge for us along that offensive line. Instant impact player. Didn't have the best combine, but has a great top 3 skills. Very interesting. Finished in the top 5 in a 40-yard dash, vertical jump, 3-cone, and 20-yard shuttle. He is somebody I'm heavily looking at, as well as Justin McGee. Also has great top 3 skills. Finished a little bit better in the combine, excelling in almost everything. He was top 10 in everything, which makes me want to go with him over Morton here. And then, of course, there's a guy like Felix Winborn, middle linebacker. We obviously need outside linebacker help, but with his 40-yard dash, his speed, 4.5 time, he can easily move to outside linebacker. Now, the thing with him is he's projected to go early in the first round. Now, I don't have a pick until 17th overall. So now we have to look and see if there's anything available realistically later on, and there's really not. We have a couple guys that are slated at end positions. He is clearly a bona fide end. Maybe a guy like a Javon Nielsen could slide back and play that linebacker position. 4.7 speed. Now, one thing we have to think about, what did we struggle with last season more than anything? Obviously, it was our offense holding us back. I think I'm going to take the risk and go with Justin McGee here. He is slated as one of the top left tackles in the class. Great top 3 skills. Also had a very impressive combine. We're going to take him 76 overall, a bit of a reach, ranked 13th in true talent. We drafted him at number 3, but he is going to slide right in to our right tackle position and do big things for us here. I'm happy I didn't take Felix now. Felix goes. He is a 74 overall middle linebacker out of Clemson. Definitely prefer that offensive lineman that we did take. Forrest Morton. I really didn't lose out. They were both 76 overall at the left tackle position. This one out of Oregon. Javon Nielsen, a guy I was looking at, 76 overall. Depending upon what we pick up for our defense here at that outside linebacker position, we might look back and think that we should have taken him. Now, this could be a risk. Early in the draft, he's slated as a 3rd round pick. I'm attempting to draft him here in the 1st round. But he has great top 3 skills, absolutely crushed the combine, first at every single category at his position. He's projected as an early 3rd rounder. We're going for him here in the 1st round. 75 overall, good pick. And he's got one arm up. I believe that is star development. I'm going to go ahead with that. That's fine. 15th overall in true talent. We took him at 17. Had a lights out combine. I'm happy with that pick. He's going to slide right in and help out our defense. Now we're going to go ahead and skip to our next pick, which is in the 1st round. Once again, the 30th overall that we picked up in the trade last draft with the Kansas City Chiefs. Now it is time to kind of make a decision here. Josh Rosen has only gotten us so far, and I'm looking at this Kalen Gregory, who not only has great top 3 skills, but also crushed the combine. He might be a guy, especially in this draft, that I'm looking to go for. We need to look towards the future, and if Josh Rosen's not that, we already passed on a guy like Tua Tagovailoa. So we're going ahead and we're taking him 71 overall, superstar X Factor quarterback. I'm going to take that all day. 26th in true talent. We drafted him at 30. Wow, that is going to make for a very interesting offseason. 71 overall is very low, but he has superstar X Factor ability. That is a risk that I'm okay taking. Josh Rosen, it's your time to step it up, or we're going to be moving forward. We have another pick, Shun, third pick in the 2nd round. Dude, I'm pumped. That is awesome. Decisions have to be made, Rosen. Now for our next pick, I'm looking at Sean Lennon here. Pretty decent top 3 skills. Had a good combine. We're just going to go ahead and take him for some depth. But a 76 overall. And another superstar X Factor player. This is absolutely insane. I did not expect... I'm in shock. I did not expect this whatsoever. 9th overall in true talent. 35th... This is insane. This is by far the best draft I have ever had. We're going to go ahead and take him, of course. Already have. Wow. Absolutely awesome. He's actually better than the one we drafted in the 1st round. So that's awesome. He was available. We took him. Let's skip ahead in the draft here. We had another phenomenal draft. 2 superstar X Factor players. I'm going to simulate to the end of the draft. Can't do much better than that, honestly. Very happy with what we came away with. We are here in year number 3, preseason week 1, and as you can see, as a team, we look much, much more improved. Overall, a 79 overall. That draft certainly helped, and as I said, we have some decisions to make here. We drafted a guy in Kalen Gregory who is, if you know the cheat, he is superstar X Factor. Only a 71 overall, though, so this is going to make it a tough decision on what to do with Josh Rosen. Now, personally, I think based on the way that the past few seasons have gone, it is time to move on from him. Our offense has been the reason we haven't been as good as our defense has dominated. So I believe we should be trading away Josh Rosen here. See if we can get any impact players rather than draft picks at this point. Offensive line is looking much better. First of all, our draft pick here, Sean Lennon, is another superstar X Factor, 76 overall. Gonna upgrade very quickly. Chase Rollier, who we obviously signed out of free agency, is a 77 last year. Our draft pick Moody in the first round, 75, or in the third round, 75 overall already. And then another draft pick that we picked up, Justin McGee, 76 overall. I mean, we had a great draft. Our offensive line is looking much better. J.K. Dobbins is flourishing, up to an 83. CeeDee Lamb up to an 80. On the defensive side of the ball, I am just loving this defense thus far. Keanu Neal, big pickup, 92 overall. Ronald Darby, an 85 overall. Xavier Howard at 85. Christian Wilkins at a 79. This year's pickup, Wendell Morgan, a 75 overall player already. Gonna start immediately for us. We're looking good, man. This team is looking very good, and I'm excited for this season. In the third year, I do expect us to make the playoffs. That is going to be a goal. But first, as I mentioned, what to do with Josh Rosen. And I think it's time to shop him around and give our rookie superstar X-Factor quarterback a chance. Let's see if we can get anything for him. And we have successfully completed a trade for Josh Rosen. He is now on the New York Giants, who needed a quarterback. Rosen to the Giants, and we get in return Eric Ebron, 86 overall tight end. We needed another weapon on offense to give to our young rookie quarterback. Ebron will be a huge addition to the team. We'll slightly downgrade our quarterback position, obviously, but he is superstar X Factor. Obviously, it's hidden as of right now, but he is slated at that. There is Ebron with Gesicki, going to be a nice two-headed monster at tight end for us to combine with CeeDee Lamb, Dobbins, and Will Fuller. So this is the team that we are going to be going into battle with. Not much else can really be moved at this point. This is the team that we currently have. This is what we're going to be working with going into year number 3. Let's hope for the best, guys. As I mentioned, season goal this year, we are going to make the playoffs. That is what I want from this team. We have built a team that I believe can contend in the league, but I'll see you at the midway point. We're going to sim all the way to midseason, see what we got going as a team. So midway through the year, a lot to be desired. 3-4, we're 80 overall. Patriots are 6-1, not overly impressive whatsoever. Again, we're going with a young kid. Has looked vaguely impressive, almost 2,000 yards midway through, 15 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Rushing the ball, J.K. Dobbins well on his way to another 1,000-yard season. On the receiver side of things, looking very good. Nothing I can really complain about here. Gesicki not getting a lot of targets, but we brought in Ebron, who's dominating, 323 yards and a touchdown. CeeDee Lamb and Jakeem Grant, both with 5 touchdowns. Christian Wilkins leads the team with 4.5. Khalid Kareem with 3.5. Chase Young with 2. Not as impressive on defense as I would have thought. Only 3 total interceptions. Definitely surprising early on this year. A lot of season left to play. I thought we'd be in better position, that's for sure. Some players to be upgraded. We'll take care of these. 30 players have been upgraded. Let's take a look at our lineup. Maybe there's something we could do as far as moving some guys around. Maybe they patched it, because it does look like they're only star development as far as these guys go. And normally when 2 arms were up, it was superstar or X Factor. And it looks like they're not. Although still impressive with star development. Maybe wouldn't have moved Rosen. We went with the younger kid. He has been playing well, though. CeeDee Lamb. What happened to Will Fuller? Is Will Fuller... He is injured. So that will be part of it. 6 more weeks he's going to be out. That's unfortunate. Here in the second half, let's advance. We better make the playoffs here in year number 3. And it looks like we will miss out on the playoffs once again. All of our practice squad players signed, of course. We finished 6-10. I'm not sure what else we could do as a team, to be honest. 81 overall. Let's take a look at the stats. For the rookie quarterback, not a bad season. Nearly 4,000 yards, 31 touchdowns, 13 interceptions, 75% completion percentage. Rushing the ball, J.K. Dobbins over 1,200 yards with 10 touchdowns. Receiving, C.D. Lamb nearly 1,000-yard season. Jakeem Grant, 8 touchdowns. Eric Ebron, his first year, absolutely dominant. Dobbins getting in on the fun. Will Fuller being hurt probably hampered things big time. Not able to make any sort of an impact. Wendell Morgan, 5 sacks. Christian Wilkins, 5 sacks. Khalid Kareem, 4.5. Devon Godshaw, 3.5. Chase Young with 3. Not big on the interceptions. Keanu O'Neal and Bobby McCain with 2 apiece. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I thought we built a pretty solid team. Apparently not. Marcus Mariota wins MVP. Nothing for us in there. Pat Shurmur, Coach of the Year. Of course, we're not on that list. In the AFC, Offensive Player of the Year is Marcus Mariota. Kendall Gregory got in there at number 8. Defensive Player of the Year, nothing for us. Offensive Rookie is Kalen Gregory. Gonna boost him up big time. Defensive Player of the Year, Rookie of the Year, I should say, Wendell Morgan. That is huge for us as well. None other players in there for us. Quarterback of the Year, Kalen Gregory makes it in. Best running back, J.K. Dobbins comes in second. A lot of upgrades, of course. We'll go ahead and take care of those. 40 players upgraded. So now if we look at the team as a whole, 83 overall defense, 81 overall offense, leading to an 81 overall team. I mean, I think we have a solid roster. There's room for improvements at certain areas, but overall, I mean, couldn't ask for much more. We're going to go one more year. Goal is to make the playoffs. Chase Young, for Superstar X Factor, has not been progressing very quickly. I'm all set. We're not going to play the Pro Bowl. Only one player in there. We're going to advance to the offseason. This year's matchup is the Jets versus the Seahawks. We're going one more year. A lot of players that we have to make a decision on. Mike Gesicki being one of them. Definitely going to want to bring him back. He's been good for us. Part of that two-headed monster that we have. I'm just going to give him what he's asking for. We need him to come back, and he is going to. Matt Hack, Jerome Baker. We have some big names in here that we are going to need to bring back. He will be back. Jerome Baker as well. Now, the question is, so P.J. Williams, he's 29, 75 overall. I think I'm going to let him walk. We could probably get an upgrade for him. DJ Humphries has been good for us at left tackle. I will be re-signing him. 3 years will bring him to his age 31 season. He will be on the squad next year. Jason Saunders, kicker, not a big deal. I mean, but he's one of the better ones as far as power goes in the game. We'll keep him along and allow him to re-sign. Kalen Ballage, probably going to let him walk. We have J.K. Dobbins. Depending upon what he's asking, I mean, that's not much at all, actually. We're going to go ahead and give him what he wants. Fair offer, 4.6 for our backup. I guess he is not going to re-sign. Not a problem. Didn't want you anyway. Obviously, Jones, you're gone. We kept you around as long as possible. Alex Lewis, 73 overall, age 30. I'll probably let him walk. That's all we're going to do as far as players go. Let's advance to free agency week number 1. $43 million in available cap space, so we do have a little bit money to spend. Leighton Vander Esch, wow. Everyone's going in for him. Not going to be an available option, obviously, for us. Jason Kelsey, 34, not someone I'm going after anyways. Brandon Cooks is interesting. He's very interesting. 28 years old. Could definitely use a big name wide receiver to help this offense. Then there's Michael Gallup. A little bit younger. Cooks 5'10", age 28. Gallup 6'1" at 26. That is an interesting one for us. That might be somebody I'd be very interested in bringing in. All we have to do is beat out the Bengals. What does that base offer get us? 91 total points. That's more than the Bengals are offering. I think I'll go with that for now. See if we have anything else interesting here. Obviously, we have our quarterback of the future. Running back, we are all set. So nothing else is really overly interesting for me here outside of Michael Gallup, just to make sure that we do get him. I do not want to lose out on him. We're going to bump that up a little bit. That'll give us 92 total points, beating out the Bengals. That should get it done. And again, nothing else overly impressive. Certain areas we do need some help in, but I think that's all we're going to be going for at this time. So what I have decided to do is switch up our defense slightly here. So I've switched to a base 4-3. That's going to give Chase Young and Christian Wilkins more time on the field coming off the edge. And just going with 3 linebackers here with decent backups. Van Ginkel, Baker, and then Luvu. I think it needs to be done. Obviously, with that being done, we need to find someone for that defensive tackle number 2 spot. No one's huge in free agency, but I'm sure we can find someone in the draft. So it looks like all I'm going to be going for is Michael Gallup. We're going to advance to the second week and see if he signs with the team. Hopefully we're able to get him. And so far he's not made a decision. Let's see what's going on here. No one has outbid actually, yes. Looks like the Bengals want him badly. And there's a lot of people going in on Brandon Cooks. So I think we're going to go all out. Michael Gallup, a little less talented, but a lot younger. Let's raise this up. What's 37 looking like? 37 million. That'll get us 95. Still behind them. Do not want to lose him in this situation. How's 39.2 million looking? That is 98 total points. So we have outbid the Bengals. So now it is in Michael Gallup's court. Whether or not he signs, let's advance one more week and see if he does. And he has rejected our offer. That's unfortunate. He has rejected. Last week of free agency, we have 43 million in cap space available. Not a ton of talent out there. So unfortunately, we do lose out on the sweepstakes. I'm just going to quickly upgrade here before jumping into the draft. It's unfortunate, but what are you going to do? We're going to jump into the draft here. No one really else available that I was interested in bringing in at receiver. No one I was willing to pay for anyway. So let's take a look at the draft here. Hopefully we can pick up a defensive tackle. A wide receiver would be nice. We have the 6th overall pick this year. I want to look at the offers that are being given for this pick. Not really interested in picks in the future. This is our last year. More so looking for some players. A few positions of need, obviously, is defensive tackle. So let's see if we can go through here and make a trade of our own. Our 1st round draft pick for a defensive tackle. We're about to trade away our draft here for Kenny Clark, 93 overall from the Packers. This would be a huge pickup. I mean, we're going all in this season. We want to come out on top, make the playoffs. Do we want to give up our whole draft for him? Not necessarily, but let's see if we could package something together here. We're very close. Let's see if we take our 2nd rounder this year off the board. Let's go with 2 first-round picks. Let's go this year's 1st round pick and next year's 1st round pick. Kenny Clark, see if we could pick up, just to try to get maximum value, pick up a 2nd round pick to tag team that. Looks like it might take both. See if we could squeeze in a 3rd. Looks like we're not going to be able to. Kenny Clark for 2 first rounders straight up doesn't go through. Oh, that's tough. We have finally made the trade. 1st round pick from this year and next year, along with a 2nd rounder from next year. We pick up Kenny Clark, an amazing addition to our defense. We're all in this season. And we have executed a trade here. Straight up, Jarvis Landry. Didn't have to give up any draft picks for left outside linebacker. Wow. All right, I'll take that because I was trying to look and see if we can move anything around to get a wide receiver better than anything available in the draft. We just added Jarvis Landry and didn't have to give up any draft picks. That is absolutely huge. Going to be a big addition. Now I do have these draft picks to work with. Now, when I'm looking at my draft board, there's not a lot out there, to be completely honest. Now, there is some talent at positions that we need, but nothing that makes me want to go out of my way, like a guy like Roy Jenkins, because realistically, that's what we need the most. We need perhaps some offensive line help, which there's really nothing available whatsoever. Defense, we're looking pretty good, so I'm not overly attached to these picks, is basically what I'm saying. We have a second this year, a third, and then, of course, a second and a third next year as well. Can only do 3 picks, unfortunately, but we'll see what we can do here, trying to fill up some of these holes that we have on offense. We've made another trade, our second and third round pick from this year, as well as our 5th round pick from this year for Julian Love, free safety, 80 overall, going to be an upgrade from Bobby McCain on our defense. Again, we've traded away pretty much our whole draft here, but we have added some very nice pieces. Going to keep messing around, see if I have any other draft picks that I'm going to be able to flip. I'll advance to my next pick, though. Again, all or nothing type of draft. I didn't really see anything I was willing to really go after in this draft. Didn't see a ton of talent. We can look at over that, see if I was right or wrong later on. But I think what we have done is put together a pretty good team here by trading away these picks. Quite a few offers here at the end, but I'm more so looking to add players. See if we could flip these final couple picks here for anything important. Oh, we are so close to landing Greedy Williams here. Pretty much putting everything we have left as far as picks go. A 3rd round pick and a 4th round pick next year, as well as a 4th this year. I think we can land this trade. And we're able to get Greedy Williams here. It took us a 3rd from next year, a 4th from this year, and Bobby McCain. But Greedy Williams is coming to the team. Best player in the draft, cornerback Antone Whitehead, was the 12th pick. Could have picked him up, but we got Greedy Williams instead, who was obviously way above that. Yeah, again, I mean, nothing overly impressive as far as the positions I was looking at. Of course, I needed a guard. 76 overall wouldn't have been an upgrade. So nothing here really was an upgrade from the looks of things. Wide receiver, the best I saw was down there. Yeah, the best wideout available was 27th pick, Antone Price, who was Prince, who was actually someone I was looking for. 74 overall. We ended up getting Jarvis Landry. Much, much better with that pick. We're going to advance to the preseason. Now, before jumping to the regular season, as always, just going to set this up, making sure that it is perfect. He's good to stay. Absolutely not. You're not even on the starting rotation. Going to be giving it to our star quarterback. Leave him in there. Rod Foster, no. So before we jump into the regular season, focus players for this season. J.K. Dobbins, of course, our quarterback, and Sean Lennon, the offensive lineman. This is going to be the year. Big things are to be expected, so I'm just going to fast forward to the beginning of the regular season. Our season goal, we want to finish off on a high note. We need to make the playoffs. If we don't make the playoffs, not to say it was a failure, because we brought a team that started off as a 71 overall, all the way up to an 83 with an 87 defense. If we just take a look here very quickly, this is what we're rolling with for year 1. Offensive line has been solid. Why is DJ Humphries at 2 positions? McGee was injured in preseason. 5 more weeks, he'll be out. Dieter will probably move up. But either way, solid offensive line. Wide receiver core is looking very good. Head up by Will Fuller, CeeDee Lamb, Jarvis Landry, and Jakeem Grant. J.K. Dobbins at running back with our quarterback phenom, Gregory. Defense is where everything is about. 87 overall defense. Every position is pretty well secured. The lowest overall we have is a 79, and that's still impressive. Chase Young has not progressed the way that I expected. Only 84 overall. Hopefully by changing our defense this season gives him more time on the field. Without further ado, I'm going to sim to the midway point of the season, looking for more success here. All right, so we are here at the midway point of the season. It is our bye week here in week 9, and we are 2-6. I do not understand whatsoever. This team is absolutely miserable. Looks like some injuries did not help. J.K. Dobbins was injured. Let's take a look at the stats. I mean, 2-6 for this team. And it comes down to Caitlin Gregory, I guess. 13 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, 1,600 yards. Not great, but not awful. J.K. Dobbins, he was injured, and we had Myles Gaskins. Has more attempts than him, so that obviously hurt us a lot. Receiving, Eric Ebron leads the way. Very underwhelming. I mean, I feel like we built a team for success, but obviously it's not going out on the field. Kenny Clark, 4 sacks. Christian Wilkins, 3.5. 2 interceptions. Julian Love with 2. Xavier Howard with 1. I'm a little bit shocked, to be honest. You would expect a lot more out of an 83 overall team. We're going to upgrade these players and finish out toward the end of the season. Again, not to say that it's a disappointment if we don't make the playoffs, but kind of is. Well, sim to the playoffs, see what happens here. Final season of this rebuild. Absolutely miserable. Did not make the playoffs. We finished 3-13. Actually got worse. Madden simulation is kind of just absolutely terrible. I mean, how could we possibly assemble a team any better? Let's just do these final upgrades here. Finished off with an 85 overall team with an 88 overall defense. Very disappointing. Finished 3-13, as I said. Let's look at the stats. 3,400 passing yards, 24 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. Rushing the ball. J.K. Dobbins, after missing nearly half the season, finishes with 1,000 rushing yards. C.D. Lamb with nearly 1,000. Sign of the devil for Eric Ebron, 666 receiving yards. Blocking, whatever. Defense. 8.5 sacks for Kenny Clark, 5.5 for Christian Wilkins. Interceptions, no more, really, throughout the year. That's very disappointing. I'm actually completely shocked at the way things wrapped up. Well, guys, unfortunately, that's the rebuild. Obviously, would have liked to end in a better fashion, but hey, brought a team that was a 71 overall, all the way up to an 85 on the overall scale, and 87 on the defense. Not a complete failure, but this is the first rebuild on the channel. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and sub to the channel if you haven't already. Next up on the docket, still haven't decided, but we will see. There will be another rebuild in the future. Always be on the lookout for that and other Madden 20 content. But until then, I'll see you in the next one, guys.